federal government is in a shutdown for the first time since 2018.
It's bullying. Like, it feels like I am being bullied by the administration.
Let workers do our job. Let us serve the American people. Stop using us as pawns.
And with no end in sight, the White House says that thousands of federal workers could be permanently laid off. Some Republicans support further downsizing, while Democrats are pushing back. They say the White House is using layoffs as a political threat.
That's a terrible precedent for democracy and for using our government that our founding fathers fought for as a tool of political retribution.
When Congress turns off the funding and the funding runs out, it is up to the Commander-in-Chief, the President of the United States, to determine how those resources will be spent.
Other lawmakers worry additional cuts could hurt essential government services. As the shutdown drags on, the debate over federal layoffs is only intensifying in Washington. Well, joining us now is Dr. Todd Belt, a political science professor at George Washington University. Professor, welcome back to Capitol Review.
Mark, it's great to be with you as always. Thanks for having me back.
We're glad to have you. Obviously, in the past, Congress has found ways to prevent a shutdown. It didn't happen this time. Why not?
No, it didn't. You know, Congress has to pass these 12 appropriations bills, and the last time they did it on time was the 1990s. So kicking it down the road is something that Congress has done for quite some time. The question is, does one party want to create a shutdown over it? And this time the Democrats have decided they wanted to. They have three real big desires they want out of this, and the first is the Obamacare subsidies, as people have probably heard about. They also want to refill some of those cuts to Medicaid, and they want a promise that the president will spend the money that is authorized by Congress, because he's been engaging in some of those rescissions. So that's how we got here. The question is, you know, where are we going from here, and how do we get out of it?
A lot of finger pointing, Dr. Todd Belt. I wonder if the American people are starting to grow tired of that.
I think so. And, you know, at the heart of some of this is politics. Obviously, Chuck Schumer took a lot of heat from his party back in March when he decided to flip on the idea of shutting down the government. And he thought it would give too much power to President Trump to do the types of things that Donald Trump is now talking about doing, such as engaging in mass layoffs and cutting funding to certain areas. But this time he's trying to show that he has some leadership and some backbone to stand up against Donald Trump, which is what Democrats want. The problem is you have on one side, the Republicans have just offered a clean continuing resolution just to kick it down the road and say, hey, we can come to the negotiating table, don't shut down the government. And Schumer is saying, well, the time is now, we have to do it now, we can't wait any longer. And so here we are.
As we continue to see this shutdown move forward, does ideology win eventually, and do the people lose?
At first, what you have is ideology, right? People are going to be lining up because they want certain policies passed. Democrats are usually not the ones to start the shutdown to try to extract concessions. Usually it's the Republicans. Democrats tend to protect government and government employment. But they're on the other side this time around. And it's ideology at first because you want to get these policies. But at some point, you know, the pain kicks in and real people are missing their paychecks and they need those to survive. Benefits are cut. People can't get the benefits they want from government. They may not be able to visit the national parks, or at least have them in the shape they'd like to see them. And then the pain comes in and it becomes real and not just ideological.
Dr. Belt, you talk about the pain kicking in. Mm-hmm. How can this come to an end?
Well, I think there's a couple of different ways this comes to an end, and it can be through negotiation or it can be through brute force. And I think that these three items that the Democrats want, the Republicans can probably put them for an up or down vote, and they'd probably win on all three of them. And then that would give the Democrats something to say to their constituents. Look, at the Republicans won't do these types of things that are very popular. Healthcare is very popular, by the way, in the United States. Or maybe we see the Republicans go full force with nuking the filibuster and getting rid of that cloture vote, which requires the 60 votes, which is giving the Democrats the leverage here. Obviously, they've never done that in the past because they worry that it could come back to bite them when they're in the minority. But if you look at the map, it's getting much more parsed out, and there's a lot more Republican states that are more continuously Republican than there are Democratic. I think they might take that approach. or they could just come to the negotiating table and give each other a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Dr. Todd Belt, thank you so very much for joining us.
You got it. Great to be with you. Thanks for having me on.